Hello everyone, my name is Mad Scorpion, and it's starting to be a big week in Destiny because there is a lot of things happening to wrap out this season. Yes, that said it right. This is the last week before the end of the season, and if you need any proof, head over to the Seasons tab and we'll see we have less than 7 days before the end of the season, which means, case in point, last week of the season. That being said, there's a lot of stuff you need to go over. I might make a video on stuff you'll need to do before the end of the season, but there's a lot of this stuff that's still staying. A lot of people already have their prep for next season guides out, which is how to min-max all your item consumption. Honestly, whatever Bungie tells you need to do is pretty much the full extent of what you need to do, like spending all your etheric spirals. At this point, it's too late because he's left, but spending all your Iron Banner tokens, those sort of things that, the items are being removed next season, so there's no point in keeping them. Aside from that, there's no real need to spend everything. That being said, it's time to get into the rotations. So, like I said, last week of Guardian Games, and that being said, we have the last competitive and last chance to get the broken top 10% of whatever these scores are, and it is currently Birthplace of the Vile, which is Void Burn, double Vanguard rank, Weight of Weakness, where grenades apply the weaken effect to you, and you deal bonus suppression damage. All 3 elements of shielded foes, Overload, Bear, or Unstoppable Champions, as well as Raider Shielded, where Scorn Raiders now have Void Shields. Not an easy one to do if you're trying to get higher points, because, Scorn, they never cooperate. But aside from that, there is several boosters active, which I will cover as we go. Last week, we just had Iron Banner, so there's going to be no Crucible booster, but there is boosted Vanguard ranking, and speaking of Vanguard, checking the Nightfalls, it is the Scarlet Keep on the Moon today, which, if you want to look at the modifiers, Fire Pit, Acolyte spawn fire pools that cause damage over time, Barrier Unstoppable Champions, Chaff, Grandmaster modifiers leading the usual, Mob Champions, Arc and Solar Shields with boosted Vanguard ranks, as well as Acute Arc Burn. And there is a cheese or two available in the final boss room, so if you're worried about whether or not you're going to make it to the final boss, there are some cheeses you can do if you just want to get completions, get the Conqueror title, and that sort of thing before the end of the season. And if you actually complete this week's Nightfall, it was, I repeat, was Silicon Neuroma for this week, but I don't know if it's because people complained or because of the fact that they're both just leaving at the end of the season. I know one is, I forget about the other, but is currently Palindrome and Plug 1. So you can at least get your hands on Palindrome before it goes away. Whether or not Plug 1 is going away, I forget, but just in case it is, I recommend people get their hands on it. Both of them are solid weapons, not to mention adepts in areas that we don't exactly have many options for. There's not many adept hand cannons in this game, and there's not many adept fusion rifles in this game either so far. That being said, moving into the rest of the world, we have Gambit, which is actually boosted Valor right now, boosted Infamy and Gambit right now. So if you're curious enough to actually, grind out the ranks or have any reason to before the end of the season, it's the time to do that. So, you can get what you need before the season ends and you lose out on some stuff. And into Crucible, currently daily focused. I believe we'll have Trials of Osiris before the end of the season, depending on whatever weapon it is for the final. That'll be the last chance to get your hands on the adept version of whatever weapon, but you'll still be able to get your hands on some of these weapons from focusing. Just the normal version, though. Hang on, there's a truck going by my house in case you hear an engine. But basically, you only have one more adept weapon you can earn, but every other weapon will still be available for focusing through Trials Engrams. It's not until the end of the season next week that a few of them are going to be rotated out, which I believe is Shayura's Wrath and Igneous Hammer. I forget specifically, I know one of them is Igneous, Shayura's is a possibility. Moving on into the Legends tab, we have, for the Vault of Glass Master mode, it is Gatekeeper Challenge, I do believe. Yes, Strangers in Time, which is you have to kill Praetorians and Wyverns during Gatekeeper Challenge at the same time. If you manage to do that, you will get your hands on Adept, or Time Lost Hezen Vengeance, which is a very good option. And if you want to farm for armor, it is currently strength-focused armor in that respect. Now, into the Throne World itself, on checking Vow of the Disciple for the same, for Master Mode, it is currently, I think, all the way around Swift Destruction, which is basically during the first encounter, I think, not exhibition, whatever the first encounter is, you have to kill all the unstoppable champions at the same time, or within the next few seconds of each other. If you do that, you can get your hands on any of the adept equipment, and if you want armor, it is intellect-focused armor from Vow of the Disciple this week. Now, into the rest of the world, for the weekly replayable mission, it is the Arrival again. Last week it was the final mission, so we're starting off again with the first So if you need to do this one, whether it's farming out alloys or just getting some armor for the end of the season, that is there. Now, into Court of Thorns for the Wellspring. It starts off with the Come to Pass, which is going to be the full rotation from start to finish, starting with auto rifle, then going grenade launcher on Wednesday, bow on Thursday, sniper on Friday, starting back around auto rifle on Saturday, grenade launcher on Sunday, and bow on Monday. For the usual, there will be a full schedule on screen right now if you need visual aids for that. That being said, it's time to move into one last thing, and that is Mr. Zur down here with Dares of Eternity and seeing what his last rotation is. Vex, Cabal, and Crota. So if you need to do this before the end of the season, that's what you got. If you are missing any of the rotations, you unfortunately can't get your hands on any more. Now, going in throughout the rest of the world, oh wait, forgot one more thing. Time to visit the Helm for the last seasonal thing. Now, they didn't do what they did with Season of the Lost just because there's not many collectibles or needs. So the last Psyops Battlegrounds is the Moon. Now, I don't think this is going away next season. They haven't mentioned at all a lot of things going away activity-wise, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be here next season. If not, then Bungie has made massive doo-doo and not told us about some of the stuff that's leaving. That being said, moving on to some of the other things in this world, Ada doesn't have her usual blandness. And I'm going to be honest, after checking Banshee stock, he's getting kind of bland in his weapon rotations. Because, once again, we have things like class swords. Like, again, as much as I want a chance at a better crown splitter than I have, Jagged Edge and Relentless Strikes, the whole deal, I'm not going to get them. So, just go for it. But aside from that, Ragnhild, Subsistence Thresh, not too bad. Full Choke Assault Mag, good options, but of course it's craftable, so why get that if you can get Crate, something we had just last week, which this time is Steady Hands Adagio. I think it was like Steady Hands Focus Fury last week. Good perk for controlling recoil, another for range, extended mag, and quicker reloads, but this already has a quicker reload because it's a rapid fire frame. Contingency Plan, very similar thing. Alloy for faster reloads when this already has faster reloads on empty. Extended mag for more rounds. Firmly planted elemental capacitor. This one is one for the stats, if you so wish to take this to Crucible and just solely want stats. Of course, Kill Clip turns this into a 3-tap, and that's real handy. Fugue 55, Compulsive Reloader for Focused Fury as well. Compulsive Reloader is honestly just trash, and if you're trying to use that, it kind of ruins Focused Fury, so this is one of those redundant perk setups. Otherwise, it's got perks. It's not exactly meant for Crucible. And lastly, Typhon, which is one of those kind of, in turn, Demo Explosive Light. A definite good roll, and since it is a stasis grenade launcher, can definitely meld with your stasis builds. Then, of course, we have our swords for all three classes. Some are better than others, and that various other things. Now, that is pretty much everything that is important with Reset. Of course, like I said, the season is ending, so if there's anything that you want to do before the end of the season, I stress you do it. And as a quick reminder, the Bungie rewards for this season and some of the stuff that was introduced with Witch Queen, some of this stuff will be going away at the end of the season past it. Now, I believe the deadline to earn is the 24th, but the deadline to purchase is the 31st, a week after. So if you've got it, congratulations, you've got it, but if you need to get it, this is the last week to get some of the items available. Most of them are just completing seasons, doing raids, doing those sort of things. But aside from that, the deadline to purchase is by the end of the month, mid next season, and you might not exactly be, remembering it next season because we're going to be in the middle of the season. You're not going to remember it. That being said, my name is Mad Scorpion, and welcome to the last week of Guardian Games, which is... There's still hope for Titans, not so much Hunters, but, Warlock's pretty much won already. They're not locked in yet, but they're getting there. My name is Mad Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.
Stop being concerned, no chances keep on passing us by.